There are places that don't stay buried, stories that refuse to end, and houses that remember you. What you're about to hear is not just a tale, it's a descent. A descent into a reality that bends, folds, and traps. A mansion that vanished, and yet returned. A curse that lingers not in ghosts, but in walls. In echoes, in memory. This is the story of those who entered, of those who heard the whispers, and of those who never came back the same. Welcome to the Hollow Whispers. 3 years had passed since Blackamoor Estate vanished. The crater it left behind had gone cold, but those who entered it had never truly returned. The world moved on, but some still felt the pull faint and maddening. Dr. Lena Morell was never seen again. Elias Murney's body was found in a hotel room. Every clock in the room melted and stuck at 3:33 a.m. Vincent Krall had been committed to an asylum, silent, scribbling spirals into the walls until the day his heart stopped. That should have been the end. But the house had never been just a house. In the basement of St. Elric's Institute, a young archivist named Clara Winters was digitizing old psychological case files when she found a box that hadn't been logged. It was unlabeled except for one yellowed sticker. Morell, post-event. Inside were reel-to-reel tapes, some broken, some intact. Curiosity overrode caution. She set up an old player and listened. The first voice she heard was Lena's slow, cracked, nearly whispering. "I don't know where I am anymore. It's not a place. It's not time. It's a shape." At first, the tapes were harmless. Just the ramblings of a damaged mind. But strange details bled through mentions of the fold, of echoes in the air, and of a presence that was no longer confined to walls. Underneath the voice were strange noises, rhythmic creaks, the flutter of paper, the hum of a child's music box. Clara thought they were artifacts, until she heard the music box in her apartment, playing from inside her closet. Over the following days, things worsened. The light in the archive began to flicker. Her reflection didn't always match her movement. In the footage from the security camera, she saw herself standing still long after she had walked away. The tapes began to change on their own. She reversed one and heard breathing. On another, a voice whispered, "You already opened it." Her dreams became flooded with distorted hallways, bloodless faces, and a voice that always said the same thing, "Let me in." She tracked down the only survivor she could find, Vincent Krall, still held in the Zurich asylum. He hadn't spoken in over 2 years. She played one of the reversed whispers through a speaker. At first, nothing. Then he screamed one word, "Mara." His eyes bled. He died that night. When they cleaned his cell, they found one phrase carved hundreds of times into the stone wall in dozens of languages. It never left. Clara tried to forget the tapes. She burned one. The next morning, it was back on her desk, unharmed, with a new label, "Play Me." Her apartment layout began to shift. The hallway was longer at night than during the day. Doors vanished and returned. Once, she opened her bedroom closet and stepped into a kitchen she hadn't seen since she was 8 years old. Her mother stood there, stirring a pot. But her mother's face was hollow, no eyes, no mouth, just smooth skin. She turned and hummed a lullaby from the music box. Clara ran, but when she returned to the hallway, it no longer led to her home. The floor was black wood, the walls a deep maroon. She wasn't in her world anymore. On the 27th day, she received an anonymous email. It contained only coordinates, 51.0827N, 1.3975E, along with a photo taken at dusk. A Blackamoor Estate stood in the distance, whole, intact, waiting. Her hands trembled. She packed nothing but a recorder and a flashlight and took the first train to Dover. She walked until she reached the field. A mansion was there, The front door stood open. The lights were on. There was a photo above the fireplace of her, standing in the doorway, taken from behind. She turned around. No one was there. Then the music box began to play, and the door slammed shut. Clara Winters was never seen again. Some say she never existed, that she was only a story created by the Institute to scare off truth seekers. But last week, a new package arrived at the archive desk. No return address. Inside was a cracked mirror, a flickering camera, and a tape labeled simply, Clara, Entry 1. The tape is currently under review, but no one has made it past the first 10 seconds. That's when the breathing starts, and the voice says, "You let it out." And from that day forward, no mirrors have remained unbroken at St. Elric's.